First contact and final warning. The quantum computation lab at MIT fell silent as Dr. Sarah Chen's latest test results appeared on the holographic display. Her hands trembled as she double-checked the numbers, then triple-checked them. After 15 years of research, they'd finally done it. Achieved quantum supremacy that exceeded any theoretical limits previously thought possible. What Dr. Chen didn't know was that her breakthrough had just triggered silent alarms across the galaxy. High above Earth's atmosphere, cloaked from human detection systems, Ambassador Thela of the Meridian Empire watched the planet with 6 eyes that gleamed like polished obsidian. The quantum energy spike from the human facility had been impossible to miss. Her exoskeleton shifted colors from deep purple to a concerned crimson as she drafted her report to the Imperial Council. The humans have achieved it far sooner than our projections indicated, she subvocalized to her neural recorder. Their rate of technological advancement continues to defy our models. The Council must be informed immediately. Within hours, the Imperial Council's response arrived. Earth could no longer be allowed to develop independently. The humans had to be contained or eliminated. Ambassador Thela's massive ship decloaked above New York City the next morning, causing widespread panic despite its elegant design. The vessel resembled a crystalline lotus flower, each petal gleaming with an inner light that seemed to bend reality around it. Global defense systems proved useless. Their targeting systems couldn't even lock onto the ship's true position. When Thela addressed the hastily assembled United Nations Security Council, her translator rendered her clicks and whistles into perfectly modulated English. "We have watched your species for centuries," she announced to the stunned assembly. "Your potential for growth is matched only by your potential for violence. The Meridian Empire can no longer allow unrestricted human development." The Security Council chamber erupted in protests and demands for clarification. Thela raised one of her 4 upper limbs, and the room fell silent, not by choice, but because some unseen force had disabled their ability to speak. "This is not a negotiation," she continued. "You have 48 Earth hours to surrender control of all quantum research facilities to Imperial oversight. Refuse, and we will be forced to take more direct action." What Thela didn't know was that her ship's dramatic arrival had been anticipated. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility that officially didn't exist, General Diana Martins watched the alien ambassador's speech with grim satisfaction. "They took the bait," she muttered to her staff. "Get me the president. It's time to activate Project Prometheus." The next 48 hours would determine humanity's fate. But humanity had not been idle during the centuries of alien observation. Dr. Chen's quantum breakthrough hadn't been an accident. It had been carefully orchestrated bait for a trap years in the making. In a secure sublevel beneath the MIT lab, Dr. Chen placed her hand on a biometric scanner, revealing a hidden chamber filled with technology that would have made Ambassador Thela's exoskeleton pale to white. Scattered across workbenches were devices reverse-engineered from crashed Imperial scout ships that humanity had been quietly collecting for decades. Each crash had been carefully staged to appear like an accident, each piece of salvage meticulously studied and improved upon. "They think we're barely past primitive spaceflight," Dr. Chen said to General Martinez over a quantum-encrypted channel that the Imperials couldn't detect. "They have no idea what we've actually built." Martinez nodded, her expression stern. "And that's exactly how we want it. How long until the defense grid is ready? The final calibrations are complete. We can activate it at any time." "Good, because I have a feeling our alien friends aren't planning to wait the full 48 hours. Their fleet is already moving into position behind Mars." Dr. Chen smiled. "Then they're exactly where we want them to be." As if to confirm the general's prediction, new ships began appearing in Earth's orbit, massive vessels that dwarfed Thela's diplomatic craft. The Empire had indeed decided to take a more aggressive approach, hoping to shock humanity into submission with a show of overwhelming force. But as the Imperial fleet moved into attack formation, they failed to notice the subtle changes taking place across Earth's surface. In labs and bunkers around the globe, scientists and soldiers prepared to reveal just how badly the Meridian Empire had underestimated human ingenuity and determination. The 48-hour deadline wasn't just a countdown to potential conflict. It was humanity's final warning to an empire that had grown too confident in its own superiority. The true question wasn't whether Earth would survive the coming battle, but whether the Meridian Empire would survive humanity's response. As Ambassador Thela prepared to deliver her final ultimatum, she remained unaware that her every move was being predicted and countered by quantum computers far more advanced than the prototype that had triggered her arrival. The game board had been set long ago, and humanity was already several moves ahead. The first phase of Project Prometheus was about to begin, and with it, the galaxy's balance of power would change forever. The Hidden Shield. The Meridian Empire's fleet commanders had participated in hundreds of planetary subjugations, but none had ever seen defensive measures like these. As their ships moved into attack formation, the seemingly primitive human satellites suddenly transformed, unfolding like mechanical flowers to reveal cores of pulsing energy. Fleet Admiral Vexnar watched in disbelief as his tactical display lit up with warnings. "Impossible," he chittered to his bridge crew. "Their technology is at least 3 centuries behind ours. These readings must be wrong." But the readings weren't wrong. In laboratories across Earth, quantum computers activated in perfect synchronization. The satellite's energy signatures combined into a complex geometric pattern that encompassed the entire planet. Dr. Chen stood in her control room, surrounded by holographic displays showing the defense grid's power levels climbing steadily. "They're scanning the barrier," one of her assistants reported. "Their energy weapons are charging." Dr. Chen allowed herself a small smile. Let them try. The first Imperial blast struck the quantum shield with enough force to level a continent. The energy dissipated harmlessly, absorbed and redistributed through the satellite network. A second blast followed, then a dozen more. Each attack only made the barrier stronger. Ambassador Thela's voice crackled across all frequencies, her translator unable to fully mask her agitation. "This is impossible. You cannot have this technology. Surrender now, and the Empire may still show mercy." General Martinez's response was broadcast from every human communication device simultaneously. "We tried to warn you. This is your last chance to withdraw." In the Empire's flagship, Admiral Vexnar's exoskeleton shifted to the deep blue of tactical focus. "Deploy the phase disruptors," he ordered. "No primitive shield can withstand." His words cut off as new alarms blared. The human satellites were changing again, but this time they were doing more than defending. Quantum-entangled particles, carefully positioned over decades, activated in precise sequence. The resulting cascade of energy didn't just block the Imperial weapons, it reversed them. The first phase disruptor beam struck its target perfectly, but instead of disrupting the Earth's shield, it disrupted the firing ship's own systems. Within seconds, a dozen Imperial vessels lost power, their crews scrambling to restore basic life support. In her underground bunker, Dr. Chen watched the chaos unfold. "The quantum mirror defense is working perfectly," she reported to General Martinez. "Their own weapons are being turned against them, but with a crucial difference. We're not trying to destroy them." Martinez nodded approvingly. They never understood that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our capacity for mercy, even towards those who don't show it to us. Aboard the Imperial flagship, Admiral Vexnar was facing a crisis unlike any in his long career. A third of his fleet was disabled. Their most powerful weapons were worse than useless, and the humans hadn't even launched a direct attack yet. His tactical officers were suggesting a full retreat, but Empire protocol forbade withdrawal without explicit council authorization. What the Empire didn't know was that humanity had spent years studying not just their technology, but their psychology and culture as well. The humans knew the Empire would never authorize a retreat. Their entire civilization was built on the principle of absolute victory or total defeat. This rigid thinking was about to become their greatest weakness. Dr. Chen's team activated the second phase of their defense system. Quantum-entangled particles began appearing inside Imperial ships, bypassing their shields completely. But instead of weapons, they carried data. Detailed technical readouts showing exactly how humans had improved upon salvaged Imperial technology. "Let them see what they're really facing," Dr. Chen said. "Let them understand that we could destroy them, but we're choosing not to." The effect on the Imperial fleet was profound. Their entire strategic doctrine was based on technological superiority. The revelation that humans had not only matched but exceeded their capabilities in several areas shook their confidence to the core. Ambassador Thela, watching from her diplomatic vessel, was the first to grasp the full implications. The humans hadn't just prepared for this confrontation, they had orchestrated it. Every move, from the quantum computation breakthrough to the seemingly primitive satellite network, had been carefully planned to demonstrate humanity's capabilities while minimizing loss of life. They're not just defending themselves, she realized. They're teaching us a lesson. As if to confirm her insight, the quantum barrier shifted, creating a clear corridor for Imperial ships to retreat through. The message was clear. The Empire could leave peacefully, or they could stay and face technology they barely understood, wielded by a species that had consistently outthought them. Admiral Vexnar faced the most difficult decision of his career. Empire doctrine demanded he fight to the last ship, but everything he was seeing suggested that such a battle would be not just futile, but foolish. The humans had demonstrated power that could have destroyed his fleet, yet they were offering him a chance to withdraw with honor. As he pondered his options, new data continued to flow into his ship's computers, showing innovations that Imperial scientists had never even considered. Each revelation made it clearer that this was not a battle between superior and inferior civilizations. It was a lesson in the dangers of underestimating potential allies. The next move would determine whether the Meridian Empire would learn from this encounter, or if their pride would force them into a conflict they couldn't win. And beneath the Rocky Mountains, humanity's leaders waited to see which path their would-be conquerors would choose. Counterattack. Admiral Vexnar made his decision. Rather than retreat through the offered corridor, he ordered his remaining operational ships to form a defensive sphere. "The Empire does not surrender," he announced on all frequencies. "We would rather die than." His transmission cut off mid-sentence as hundreds of small objects suddenly appeared around his fleet. Each one was barely larger than a human fighter jet, but the energy readings they emitted made his tactical officers recoil in alarm. Introducing the Firefly class, General Martinez's voice came through crystal clear on their command frequency. "Small, fast, and powered by quantum singularities. We really hoped we wouldn't need them." The Fireflies moved with impossible precision, their formation shifting like schools of fish. Imperial targeting systems couldn't track them. The tiny ships seemed to exist in multiple places simultaneously, a feat that should have been physically impossible. Dr. Chen watched from her command center as the fruits of decades of research displayed their capabilities. "The quantum uncertainty drive is performing better than our simulations predicted," she noted. "They literally cannot predict where our ships will be from one microsecond to the next." The Fireflies didn't attack. They didn't need to. Instead, they began a complex dance around the Imperial fleet, their quantum fields interacting with the Empire's shield generators in ways that the alien systems had never been designed to handle. Inside the Imperial ships, reality itself seemed to fluctuate. Navigation systems showed them simultaneously at multiple coordinates. Communication suffered cascading failures as quantum interference scrambled their signals. The mighty Empire fleet, terror of 1,000 worlds, was being neutralized without a single shot fired. Ambassador Thela, watching from her diplomatic vessel, finally understood. "You've weaponized uncertainty itself," she transmitted to Earth. "You've turned our own universe's laws against us." "Not weaponized," Dr. Chen corrected her. "We've learned to work with quantum mechanics in ways your empire never considered because you were too focused on brute force solutions. The universe isn't something to be conquered, it's something to be understood. In the Rocky Mountain Command Center, General Martinez received an urgent message. Their deep space sensors had detected a massive power surge from behind Mars. The Empire's reserve fleet was preparing to jump in. This was the moment they had been waiting for. Dr. Chen, Martinez called. Initiate Protocol Omega. Across Earth's surface, hidden installations activated. The quantum barrier that had been protecting the planet began to pulse with new energy. The fireflies responded instantly, their formations shifting into precise geometric patterns. Admiral Vexnar watched in horror as space itself began to warp around his fleet. What are they doing? He demanded of his science officers. None could answer. The reserve fleet emerged from hyperspace exactly where humanity's strategists had predicted. The moment they appeared, the fireflies' quantum fields synchronized. The space between the two Imperial fleets became a maze of overlapping quantum probabilities. You relied too heavily on predictability, Dr. Chen's voice explained to the Imperial commanders. Your ships, your tactics, your entire strategy is based on knowing exactly where everything is and what it's doing. We learned to embrace uncertainty, to use it as a tool rather than trying to eliminate it. The effects were devastating. Imperial ships found themselves unable to maintain formation as quantum fluctuations played havoc with their navigation systems. Their much-vaunted targeting computers, capable of hitting targets across solar systems, couldn't even maintain a lock on Earth's largest cities. But the true masterstroke was yet to come. As the Imperial fleet struggled to cope with the quantum interference, new signals began broadcasting from Earth. Not attacks, not threats, but technical specifications, complete details of how humanity had achieved these breakthroughs, freely shared with the very forces trying to conquer them. We don't want to destroy you, General Martinez transmitted. We want to teach you. Your empire has conquered through force for so long that you've forgotten how to advance through cooperation. Today, that changes. In her diplomatic vessel, Ambassador Thela received a private transmission from Dr. Chen. The data streaming to her personal console showed something even more remarkable than the quantum technology. Evidence that humanity had discovered principles that could revolutionize not just warfare, but medicine, energy production, and faster-than-light travel. This is why we revealed ourselves this way, Dr. Chen explained. Your empire needs to understand that there are better paths than conquest. We're offering you a choice. Continue this fight and face defeat, or join us in pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The Imperial Reserve Fleet, still reeling from the quantum interference, began receiving the same technical data. Ship after ship reported that their scientists were validating the human discoveries, confirming that everything being shared was genuine and implementable. Admiral Vexnar faced a decision that would reshape the galaxy. The Empire had never encountered a species that could match their military might, let alone one that would freely share the secrets of their success. His tactical display showed his fleet's continuing deterioration under the quantum effects, while his science officers were already excitedly discussing the implications of the human technologies. As the Admiral pondered his options, Earth's quantum barrier pulsed again, and the fireflies began a new formation. The message was clear. Humanity was ready for either outcome, war or peace, destruction or collaboration. The choice now lay with the Empire. The next few moments would determine whether the galaxy would witness the start of an unprecedented collaboration or the end of an empire that had failed to adapt to a new paradigm of power, one based not on force, but on understanding. The Ancient Alliance. While the standoff between Earth and the Imperial fleet continued, something unprecedented was happening beneath the red sands of Mars. Dr. Maya Patel, leading a secret research base in Valles Marineris, watched as ancient symbols began glowing on previously dormant walls that hadn't been built by human hands. General Martinez, she transmitted through a quantum-encrypted channel. It's happening. The energy discharge from our quantum defense grid. It's activating something down here. Deep in the Martian canyon, Structures that had lain dormant for millennia were awakening. Geometric patterns, eerily similar to those created by Earth's Firefly ships, began pulsing with an inner light that defied conventional physics. Ambassador Thila's sensors detected the activation sequence, and for the first time in her diplomatic career, she felt true fear. "Those are precursor ruins," she whispered, her translator barely able to convey her awe. "How long have you known?" "Since we first landed on Mars," General Martinez replied. "We found them during our earliest explorations, but we kept them secret. Unlike your empire, we believe some discoveries require patience and understanding before they're used." The Martian installations hummed to life, each activation sequence perfectly synchronized with Earth's quantum defense grid. Dr. Patel's team had spent years studying these ruins, learning their secrets not through force or conquest, but through careful observation and respect for their creator's intentions. "The precursors didn't vanish," Dr. Chen explained to the stunned Imperial commanders. "They evolved beyond the need for physical form, but they left behind guardians, automated systems designed to recognize and reward species that achieved consciousness in the right way." In orbit, Admiral Vexnar watched as his tactical displays revealed the true scope of what was awakening on Mars. The entire planet was transforming, ancient defensive systems emerging from beneath its surface. The Empire had spent centuries searching for precursor technology, and here it was, responding to human commands. "Impossible," he transmitted. "The Empire has the largest database of precursor artifacts in the galaxy. We've never been able to activate any of them." "Because you tried to dominate them," Dr. Petal responded, her voice carrying the weight of understanding earned through years of patient study. "The precursors left these systems as a test. They activate only for species that achieve advancement through cooperation and understanding, not conquest." The Martian defense grid fully activated, creating a quantum field that made Earth's barrier look primitive by comparison. But instead of weapons, it projected something far more powerful: knowledge. The ruins were sharing the precursors' history, their philosophy, and their hopes for the species that would follow them. Ambassador Thila received the data stream with growing amazement. All this time, she transmitted to her superiors, "We've been going about it wrong. The precursors weren't leaving us weapons. They were leaving us lessons." The Imperial Council, watching through their quantum feeds, faced an unprecedented crisis. Their entire civilization was built on the principle of technological supremacy through conquest. Now they were confronted with proof that this approach had actually prevented them from accessing the galaxy's greatest secrets. Dr. Chen's voice carried across all frequencies. "Your empire has spent centuries trying to force the universe to bend to your will. We learned to work with it instead. That's why the precursor systems respond to us. That's why we can do things with quantum mechanics that you thought impossible." The Martian installations continue their activation sequence, each new system revealing more of the precursor's legacy. The Empire's scientists were frantically analyzing the data, confirming that everything they were seeing was real and functionally superior to their most advanced technology. "We're offering you a choice," General Martinez announced to the Imperial fleet. "Continue on your current path, fighting against the fundamental nature of the universe itself, or join us in learning what the precursors actually wanted to teach us." Admiral Vexnar's flagship detected new energy signatures emerging from the Martian surface. Not weapons, but something far more significant: quantum gates, similar to the ones humanity had developed but orders of magnitude more sophisticated. The precursors had left behind a transportation network that could revolutionize galactic civilization, but only for those who understood its true purpose. The Fireflies, Ambassador Thila suddenly realized, they weren't just weapons. They were proof that you understood the precursor's principles. You had to demonstrate mastery of quantum uncertainty before the ruins would activate. "Precisely," Dr. Patel confirmed. "Everything we've done, from our quantum computing breakthrough to our defensive strategies, was designed to show that humanity had learned the right lessons. We weren't just defending Earth. We were proving ourselves worthy of the precursor's legacy." As if in response to this understanding, the Martian installations began projecting new information. Star maps appeared, showing the locations of other precursor sites throughout the galaxy, sites the Empire had found but never been able to access. Each one contained knowledge and technology that could transform civilization itself, but only for those who approached them with the right mindset. The Imperial Council faced a decision that would reshape their society's fundamental principles. The choice was stark: maintain their doctrine of conquest and be forever denied access to the galaxy's greatest achievements, or embrace a new way of thinking that challenged everything they believed about power and progress. In the Martian base, Dr. Patel watched as more systems activated, each one confirming humanity's understanding of the precursor's true intentions. The next few moments would determine whether the galaxy would enter a new age of cooperation and discovery, or remain locked in cycles of conquest and resistance. Victory through innovation. The Imperial Council's debate lasted exactly 6 minutes. In the end, the decision wasn't made by the Council at all, but by the Empire's own scientists. Across the Imperial fleet, research teams were already implementing the freely shared human innovations, discovering that every principle, every theory, every technological advancement worked exactly as described. Admiral Vexnar received the Council's transmission with a mixture of relief and apprehension. Humanity, he broadcast on all frequencies, the Meridian Empire proposes an immediate cessation of hostilities and requests. Requests. His translator struggled with the unfamiliar concept. Requests partnership. In the Rocky Mountain Command Center, General Martinez smiled. "Dr. Chen, would you like to do the honors?" Dr. Chen's voice carried not just to the Imperial fleet, but to every human listening post across the solar system. The precursors left us a message, encoded in the quantum structure of their ruins. Would you like to hear it? Ambassador Thiela's response was immediate. "Please." The Martian installations pulsed with new energy, and a holographic message appeared simultaneously aboard every ship in the Imperial fleet. The language was ancient, but the quantum translation matrices the humans had developed rendered it perfectly clear. To those who find balance between innovation and wisdom, between power and restraint, we leave our legacy. The universe is not a resource to be conquered, but a mystery to be explored. Only those who understand this truth are ready for what comes next. Dr. Patel's team on Mars activated the final sequence they had discovered. The quantum gates hummed to life, creating stable wormholes that bypass traditional space-time limitations. But unlike the Empire's brute force approach to faster-than-light travel, these portals worked in harmony with the universe's fundamental laws. "This is just the beginning," Dr. Chen explained. "The precursors left similar installations across the galaxy, but they can only be activated by civilizations that understand their true purpose. Your empire has been trying to force them open for centuries. We learned to ask them nicely." The Imperial scientists were already documenting the unprecedented efficiency of the quantum gates. Energy requirements were minimal, stability was perfect, and the theoretical range was unlimited. It was everything the Empire had sought through conquest, freely offered through cooperation instead. Ambassador Thiela addressed her own leadership through their quantum network. "The humans have not simply matched our technology. They have found a better path entirely. If the Empire wishes to survive, we must adapt." The response from the Imperial Council was unprecedented. For the first time in their 1,000-year history, they voted unanimously to fundamentally change their civilization's direction. The Empire would transition from conquest to collaboration, from domination to discovery. "We accept your terms," Admiral Vexnar announced, his translator now perfectly conveying the complex emotions in his voice. "The Empire's resources, our knowledge, our capabilities, all will be shared in exchange for understanding what you've learned." Dr. Chen's response was warm but firm. "Not just what we've learned, but how we learned it. The precursor's legacy isn't about technology. It's about approach. Are you ready to fundamentally change how your civilization thinks?" The answer came not in words, but in actions. Across the Imperial fleet, weapon systems powered down. Shield geometries shifted from defensive patterns to harmonious configurations that matched the quantum frequencies of Earth's fireflies. The Empire's mighty warships were transforming into something new, vessels of exploration and discovery. In her Martian base, Dr. Patel watched as new data streamed from the ancient installations. "They're responding to the change," she reported. "The precursor systems are recognizing the Empire's transformation. They're unlocking new levels of access." The quantum gates pulsed with increased power, revealing pathways to distant stars that even the Empire had never reached. But more importantly, they showed connections between civilizations, opportunities for collaboration that had been ignored in the endless cycle of conquest and resistance. General Martinez addressed the combined forces of humanity and the Empire. "Today marks not just the end of a potential war, but the beginning of something far more important. The precursors didn't leave us technology. They left us a choice. Today we make that choice together." Ambassador Thela, her exoskeleton now shimmering with the deep green of profound revelation, made one final transmission. "For 1,000 years, the Empire sought to understand the universe through control. In less than a day, humanity has shown us that understanding comes through cooperation. We are grateful for the lesson." The Firefly ships began a new dance, their quantum fields harmonizing with both the Imperial fleet and the Martian installations. The pattern they created wasn't just beautiful, it was a demonstration of the principles that would guide this new alliance. Uncertainty and certainty, chaos and order, all working in perfect balance. Dr. Chen's final words echoed across the quantum network. "The universe isn't a battlefield to be conquered. It's a mystery to be solved together. The real victory isn't in proving our superiority, but in showing that there's always a better way forward." As the combined fleet prepared to explore the newly revealed quantum gates, humanity and the Empire stood on the brink of an unprecedented age of discovery. The precursors' true legacy wasn't their technology or their ruins. It was the understanding that the greatest achievements come not through force, but through the wisdom to know when to set force aside. The stars beckoned, not as territories to be claimed, but as mysteries to be understood. And for the first time in galactic history, two civilizations that could have destroyed each other chose instead to explore them together.